Welcome everybody, I'm Jeff Barton and I'm your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show, and we're on each and every week and I appreciate you tuning in. We try to deal with local issues that affect real estate prices and try to explain what's going on in the marketplace. Certainly there are national issues which also affect us here in Nevada, whether it be federal housing policy or whether it be your local, state, and city officials who actually have a great deal of sway over whether you're going to be able to afford your particular, whether it be your taxes, whether it be your mortgage payment. Housing is in fact one of the central issues here in the Valley, and we on this show are trying to bring that to you each and every week. So again, thank you very much for tuning in. I'm Jeff Barton, as I said, and we'll bring a couple of great guests as well as a panel on each and every week. This week we're going to have Reed Blake on the show, and he's going to talk to us about a different kind of financing for businesses, and I appreciate him coming on, and he'll come up a little bit later on in the show. I wanted to quickly go over a couple of things about an issue which I think is extremely important, especially here in Las Vegas, Henderson, and Summerlin, and some of the outlying cities in Nevada, and it's of course about housing discrimination. I had recently a incident where a friend of mine, we belonged to a running club, and we were running together, and he told me about a house that he had on the market. He's a builder. Actually, he's an infill builder, and some of you may know what that is. You find a lot, you build a house, and then you try to sell the house. Well, he's done that, and during one of his particular open houses, a neighbor came by. He wasn't there, but the agent who was representing him in the sale was there, and the agent brought up the fact to the buyer, who was African American, that was a white neighborhood. Now, this is 2018, and you hear these things and you think about it in places that are distant or in a different municipality or a city or a state or an area of the country. But when he told me the story, it made me think that problems are yet to be solved in housing in both Las Vegas and here in the Valley in terms of the availability, but also non-discriminatory housing. So if there is an issue out there that I think is as prescient as any other, it's making housing available for everybody who wants it, regardless of where that particular property is. Anyway, I'm Jeff Barton. Glad you tuned in for the show, and we'll be right back.
Are you experiencing hair loss? We have the solution with no drugs, no surgery, and no side effects. Experience 100% pain-free results with SuperGrow Laser Cap System, featuring 272 professional-grade lasers that make your hair thicker and fuller naturally. Use it 15 minutes a day, 3 times a week, and notice your hair growth in as little as 3 months. Visit online at irevivelaser.com to order your SuperGrow Laser Cap today and experience unbelievable results. irevivelaser.com.
Successful Strategies International offers state-of-the-art PMP certification and an entire curriculum of project management, risk management, portfolio and program management by using unique learning techniques such as online learning, simulations, and facilitator lead programs. Our clientele consists of some of the biggest Fortune 500 companies in existence. SSI has trainers all across North America, Europe, and Asia to help meet your project management needs. Learn more at ssi-learn.com. That's ssi-learn.com.
Want to know how to create more business and save money? Simple. The answer is video. Video shares are the fastest growing form of word-of-mouth advertising, and according to InternetRetailer.com, visitors who viewed a business video were 85% more likely to buy after watching it. People today are on the go. They don't have time to read text, but they have 1 minute to watch video. At HD Video King, we not only create quality video that's right for you, we coach you on how to get the most from it. Call today. Our award-winning staff are ready to assist.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jeff Barton, your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show, and thank you again for tuning in and watching us. We're here each and every week, as we said in the opening, to try to educate you, illuminate you on some of the things going on here in the Valley in many different aspects of the real estate business. There's availability, affordability, there's opportunities in all sectors. We've had on the show many different kinds of people, talking from commercial real estate to lenders to title people, entrepreneurs, people that have had hard luck and have made it here in Las Vegas. I think one of the great things about living here is that you can get here and actually make something of yourself, especially in real estate, although it is tight right now. And one of the reasons it's tight is because there's availability of money, and how do you get that money? And especially if you've had some credit history, or perhaps you just have had some issues with employment or ability to repay. There are all kinds of reasons why our next guest is going to be able to help you out. I'm really happy to bring to the show Reed Blake, and he's from Business Capital Experts. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
Okay, excellent.
Reed with two E's, none of that weird EI stuff.
Yes, what is it? R-E-E-D, right?
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
No, it's great. Reed, thank you very much. Now, I wanted you on the show because you talk about alternate types of financing, especially for businesses who need money. Tell us about what you do.
Yeah, Business Capital Experts. We're just a small investment boutique, and what we do, one of the areas that we've become very popular in doing is unsecured funding. Okay. So we do two things in the unsecured space. Number one, we do unsecured business lines of credit, cash-based, not vendor credit, which typically people have, Vista Prints and Home Depot cards, things like that. So we do unsecured, cash-based business lines of credit. Money gets used over and over again. We call it forever money. I always use 10,000 because it's a simple number to work with. You have $10,000 limit, you draw down 3, pay it back, draw down 5, pay it back. You have that over and over and over again for the rest of your business's life. The second category that we're really strong in is unsecured cash loans. So again, these are loans that are unsecured, not the typical type of funding that the average small business owner or real estate investor is using. Typically using hard money, soft money, private money, things like that. These are actual unsecured cash loans, ranging anywhere from say $60,000 to $350,000, and it's actual cash drops into your business bank account. You deploy that capital how you best see fit. So lines are money that get used over and over again. Loans, start date 30, 60 days later, you start making your payment, and you've got a term that you'll pay out on those, pay back the unsecured cash loans.
Tell me about your typical customer. Who comes to you? Who's somebody that would really, come to you? Would it be like a real estate investor? Would it be a guy who makes something? Is it a guy who wants to open a new store? Is it some, explain to me your typical client.
Yeah, all of the above.
Okay.
Again, specifically in the real estate space, real estate investors want to come to us to have access to this. Jeff, this is a source of capital they wouldn't otherwise have access to. If they go to a hard money lender, private money lender, they have in effect a budget, right? They said, these are all the things we need money for. This is the amount that we need for each one of those items.
Right.
And then they're restricted to only using the money for those purposes, right? Okay. The unsecured capital for the real estate investor allows them to do everything. They know best how to run their business, right? They're going to exercise wide stewardship over these funds. They'll deploy that capital how they choose. They don't need anybody's permission. We call it control. They have control over their funds.
Well, sure, because when you talk construction finances, there are release points to the construction financing, whereby either the inspector or the bank or somebody comes out and releases the money upon a certain level of wherever you've reached in your project. This is not like that.
No, they can deploy this capital however they choose. I mean, for example, they can draw down, use the capital to pay themselves a salary. Most small real estate investors don't pay themselves a salary. They should be. In fact, by law, they're supposed to be doing that. I believe it was the spring of 2017. A memorandum came out from the IRS saying there's going to be increased scrutiny of small business owners, LLCs, S corporations, et cetera, to make sure they're paying themselves a salary. They use this to smooth out payroll, pay the office rent, instead of using their own personal assets. See, most small real estate investors are using their own credit. They're using their own funding. They're taking out HELOCs, or they're tapping the new self-directed IRAs are popular now, self-directed 401ks.
Right.
It's still their money. This is separate. This is business capital. It's tied to the EIN, not the Social Security number. Okay. So again, they have control, deploy that capital how they choose. I said office rent.
Are these loans personally guaranteed by the person who owns the business?
The answer to that is almost every time yes.
Okay.
The reason being is that most small business owners, especially in the real estate space, don't have a track record with the business credit bureaus that track the business. In other words,
Like a Dun & Bradstreet or something like
to
that?
a degree, they're not really the cash-based credit bureau, if
Okay.
that makes sense. The
Sure.
the two ones are really TransUnion and Equifax.
I see.
And of those two, Equifax is the big dog, and I mean they are the big dog. In the personal world, they have the FICO score, right?
Right.
In the business world, they have what's called an IntelliScore, and so that's what they would be looking at. 98, 99% of the small business owners that come to us do not have a history or track record there. Hence, typically when they get these monies, they do have to personally guarantee them. We call it a PG.
Sure.
But once again, they're only responsible if their business, in fact, does not repay the funds, which is very unusual. Most of them do extremely well because the payments are so small in order to keep the line of credit, so to speak, in good standing.
What's your typical loan size?
Great question. We take our clients through a 2-year process.
Okay.
And so in round one, I'll give you the numbers and the metrics. The bottom
Right.
line is this. Our numbers run 80% of our clients obtain somewhere between $50,000 and $100,000 in round one on the unsecured business lines.
Right.
They go up and down. 15% less than 50,000, 25, 35, 45. But again, it's $35,000 they didn't have yesterday that's tied to their EIN, not their social security number. And then about 5% are in that rarefied air of 100K or more in round one. Okay. On the unsecured cash loans, a little bit different, okay? Typically, 60 to 80,000 is the range they would expect, but about 13% of our clients obtain somewhere between $100 and $250, $300,000 of unsecured cash. We had a client just a couple months ago qualify for $250K at 7.03%. That's on the cash loan.
Is that a typical interest rate or does it vary per person?
It varies on the client.
Okay.
Anywhere from, we're seeing 5% to 9% usually. I've seen an 11%. Just depends upon the strength of the file.
How do you tie your rate? Is it tied to an index or a fund or is it something that is tied to your investor who's giving you the money to lend?
Great question. It's set by the funding source.
I see.
Okay,
very
they make the determination, and bluntly, they're market rates, whatever market rates are. So these are market rates for unsecured funding.
Are you underwriting the loans yourself, or how are you?
We do a pre-underwrite. We
Okay.
underwrite it in advance. In fact, one of our colleagues, one of our partners, exceptional. He's probably, he's worked for billion-dollar companies, and he's probably responsible directly, indirectly for close to $500 million in underwriting. And so what we do is we underwrite everything first for the clients before we ever take them to a funding source.
I see.
So that we know that they're going to get the approvals in advance. So we do all of that in-house first.
So you act as a broker almost.
Sort of.
Right. I mean,
yeah.
you're basically pre-qualifying or qualifying the client, then taking it to the underwriter or the funding source, and then you're working out the details of what it's going to cost, either in fees and points and the term of the loan.
All of that, yeah. And right now on the unsecured cash loans, they come with interest rates. The unsecured cash business lines of credit, no. Those things are amazing. Right now, most of the funding sources, I mean, they're competing very hard for the small business owner's business.
Right.
It's 1 to 2 years of no interest right now. I mean, it's pure OPM.
Wow.
Again, back to my example. You draw down $10,000, or you have a $10,000 limit. Keep the math simple. They draw down $5,000.
Right.
When they pay that back, it all goes right to principal. There's no interest costs in between. And
What's
then
the benefit for the lender?
Oh, they're acquiring clientele. Right now, it's so competitive. In other words, mid-sized companies, large companies, have always operated from lines of credit and things like that. They always do. Right? But the small business owner hasn't had access to that kind of capital generally. Their bankers aren't beating down their door to get them to do business with them. And so what we do is we take the clients through that process, expose them to that industry,
Right.
and again, it's just it is so competitive right now that the opportunities for the small business owner, again, in the real estate space and the non-real estate space also. Your earlier question, I mean, for other kind of businesses, we've done everything from pool companies and roofing companies, restaurants.
Right.
We did a $200,000 yoga studio in Hermosa Beach.
Really? So you lend nationally?
I never knew there was so much to know about yoga.
You know what's so funny? Those yoga studios, they're all over the place. They're popping up left and right. I know in my small town where I live, we have 2. So we only have a population of 10,000 people. So,
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
This is not really a yoga body.
No, it can be. You know, I've seen these, larger people absolutely get out there and do it stretching. Okay, qualifications. What does someone have to bring to you to qualify?
Great question. On the UBLs, okay, they're different underwriting guidelines, so to speak, qualification criteria for UBLs and UCLs. On UBLs, there are really 4, okay? One that has to be an actual business. It's a business line, not a personal line. Now, they don't have to have a seasoned one or anything like that. We can literally start a business, form a business. In fact, we had a client in here in Las Vegas, an ophthalmologist. He wanted to get in the really, really lucrative space of senior care, taking homes, retrofitting them, renovating, putting seniors in there. So anyway, we said you can't do that underneath your existing business doc. So we formed a separate entity, literally, Jeff, on a Wednesday. Okay, by Friday, everything approved, EIN. By the following Friday, he was already receiving approvals for business funding.
Listen, this is great. I want you back on the show. We're run out of time, but quickly give somebody an opportunity to get in touch with you. How would they do that?
Okay, great. The firm itself is called Business Capital Experts. Okay,
Yep.
Our phone number is 8800. And if you remember, extension is 801. So 844-908-8800, 8800.
Ray, thank you very much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
appreciate
Great
the
education,
opportunity.
and we'll have you back again.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm Jeff Barton, your voice here in the Las Vegas Real Estate Show, and we'll be right back.
Want to know how to create more business and save money? Simple. The answer is video. Video shares are the fastest growing form of word-of-mouth advertising, and according to InternetRetailer.com, visitors who viewed a business video were 85% more likely to buy after watching it. People today are on the go. They don't have time to read text, but they have 1 minute to watch video. At HD Video King, we not only create quality video that's right for you, we coach you on how to get the most from it. Call today. Our award-winning staff are ready to assist.
Successful Strategies International offers state-of-the-art PMP certification and an entire curriculum of project management, risk management, portfolio and program management by using unique learning techniques such as online learning, simulations, and facilitator lead programs. Our clientele consists of some of the biggest Fortune 500 companies in existence. SSI has trainers all across North America, Europe, and Asia to help meet your project management needs. Learn more at ssi-learn.com. That's ssi-learn.com.
Ruthless Cowboys, keeping the American dream alive and creating jobs one t-shirt at a time. From fabric to design, Ruthless Cowboys makes 100% American-made apparel that hardworking Americans are proud to wear. At RuthlessCowboys.com, you can shop for shirts and accessories for the cowboy or cowgirl in your life. Head to RuthlessCowboys.com, check us out on Facebook and Instagram by searching Ruthless Cowboys. Ruthless Cowboys, we're all about family, country, and keeping it all American. RuthlessCowboys.com.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jeff Barton, your host in the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, watching the show, see what we do and how we interpret what's going on in the real estate market for you to be able to make decisions. Whether you're going to buy, whether you're going to sell, maybe you just want to sit back, maybe you have some income and you want to invest it into something. We certainly want to be able to help you. We're going to talk about all things that we talked about earlier on the show. We had Reed Blake, who talked about some of the interesting financing aspects for small businesses, and we talked about some discrimination in the housing market and in the housing area, and I want to speak to that a little bit with our terrific panel here today. And once again, hi everybody. Thanks for coming to the show. And Terrell Big Tex Robinson from Terrell Big Tex. What's the name of your firm again?
Real Estate and Consulting.
Real Estate and Consulting, absolutely. As a matter of fact, he's going to help me with some of the investment opportunities in the financial aspect of what I'm trying to do in the business. So, great guy to get a hold of. And also, Sare Yagazarian. Hi, Sare. How are you?
Good, Jeff. How are you?
Great, excellent. He's been on the show recently talking about real estate investments here in Las Vegas with his group, the
Guardian Group.
The Guardian Group, and a terrific group, great philosophy, and I think you'll enjoy hearing from him. And of course, our real estate expert on the show is Rebecca Fitzgerald. Hi, Rebecca, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm just great, thank you very much. Okay, so let's get into this quickly. I want to cover some things since it's early in February 2018. It's new in the marketplace. Super Bowl, I want to go through just quickly. The betting in Las Vegas. Everybody comes to Las Vegas to try to make a fortune. It's part of the attractions to our city, the opportunities to do that. The book, they say 61% bet on point spreads for the Eagles, 70% of the money wagered on the Eagles. Anybody place a bet? Anybody win? Anybody lose?
I did not place a bet. I mean, normally I would have, but no, I didn't place a bet. I'm real big on my team winning. I follow my team, not so much the other team.
Yeah.
But as far as the spread, I know a lot of people did have the Patriots winning, but still spread-wise with the Eagles, so they can still make some money on the back end. But there was a big shocker, though.
Right.
You know. So another thing too, as well. I know for me, if I would have betted, I would have betted with my heart and not with my head.
Always with my heart. I'm a Patriots fan. Let's just get it right out there up front. I was very disappointed, cried a lot. Anyway, you guys place a bet? You guys in the?
I didn't personally place a bet, but somebody asked me, and I did tell them to take the Eagles. So they won $2,300. So.
Oh, that's nice.
Nice.
You better.
I only invest, and I invest in what I know, and I don't know football. So
I don't know. I'm not gonna get
There you
It's
go.
funny. I come to Las Vegas all the time. I've been coming here since 2004. I have a business here. We run the TV show out of here, and I've never once made one bet on anything in ever. Well, no, that's not true. I did a hockey bet one time and lost. So actually, we won that one bet I gave to you. So okay, very good. Let's get into something else very quickly. A couple of news items we covered on the last show, but I just want to bring it up again. 1,000 people in Nevada who got loans from a particular company, PHH Mortgage, as we all know, are due for at least $1,000 back due to some, I guess, issues with PHH Mortgage and some of the restrictions.
Sounds like someone got fined.
Yeah, they did get fined, and there is a settlement out there. So if you're out there and if you know of anybody who needs, who got a loan with PHH, they can get up to $1,000 back. Okay, let's get into this ongoing war between this Senator Gardner from Colorado and Jeff Sessions over pot restrictions, over what's going on. What are we doing about it in Nevada? How's it affecting people and their lifestyles? And are we going to be able to see anything close to marijuana financing in the real estate world?
Wow.
I mean, I know people personally that do finance, but it's a lot of independent financing.
Right.
I
Like
know-
hard money, or is it more?
I know a guy out in California. He finances the entire industry. It's like this one guy, like he has the biggest grow up in California, and he has like a lot of stuff going on here. But what's going on, from what I've read about the war between the states and the federal, is the federal government actually is making more money by keeping it illegal.
Okay, so there's obviously a difference between whether you're for it or against it. This war between the Colorado Senator and Jeff Sessions. I don't know whether you like Jeff Sessions or whether you like the pot industry, but it's the idea of whether the federal government versus states' rights and who gets to determine what goes on in that state. It's very interesting. I don't know if you have any opinions on the business, but I know that there's a ton of money in the pot business looking for buildings, looking for real estate land, looking for places to be able to develop their business. How do we handle that? This is part of what we do here.
I think the government is learning that the drug industry, it's better to get a control of it than police it. I mean, if you look at Miami in the 1970s and 80s,
Right.
those skyscrapers were built. Why?
Yep.
Because of drug money.
Right, cocaine
So
cowboys,
if,
right?
if the government was controlling that and getting a piece of that, they could have taxed that. They could have created better schools. They could have created better systems to help the other people in the community instead of just jailing people and not helping everybody else.
Yeah, I agree. Now, we've got an election coming up, primary in June, right, and general election in November. There's a lot of people on the ballot. We've had one of the candidates on the show. We're trying to get Susie Lee on the show, is one of the leading Democratic candidates in the 3rd Congressional District. It's the 3rd, the 4th, and the 1st, I believe, are here in Vegas. And there's only 4 congressional districts in Nevada, and 3 of them are here. What are we going to do about that locally? How are we going to handle that? And what are we, investing our money in? I think that all speaks to what you're talking about in terms of the federal government, the state government. I think state rights here are really clear, much like the water issue.
Right.
It's about what the state can control within their borders.
Right. I think just like he said, back like Miami in the 70s and 80s, they were able to make that place such a phenomenal place where people are, everyone loves to go to Miami, even though it was built a lot on, like you said, marijuana and other things too as well.
Really.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it was.
But it was illegal back then, so I don't understand.
Well, no. The point
I mean, it
being
still
is
is.
being able to allow, to where, take the handcuffs off.
What was being allowed?
Yeah.
Cocaine was and still is illegal.
I don't know how they washed the money back then, but it was drug money.
What's going on is, okay, so like vendors, like Rolls Royce, right? Who's going to buy a Rolls Royce? So obviously you have all these people making
Well, in
money
the
off,
80s,
off
you
selling
didn't have to-
cocaine. They have money to buy a Rolls Royce. They have money to buy these watches. They have money to buy these buildings and then provide services for other people.
Yeah, they didn't have the background checks and you
Yeah.
can't go in and buy a Mercedes or any car today without documentation.
Right.
I went into a car dealership 3 years ago, tried to buy a car new, right? Wanted to pay cash for it. They wanted to run my credit. They wanted to have a history of who I was. I said, well, what are you talking about? I'm going to write you a check for the thing. What do you care about all that?
Right.
Federal government, it's HIPAA, it's whatever the disclosures are. I mean, it was like, HIPAA. Okay, so that's all healthcare. Absolutely. Okay, so
But we understand, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so, but
yeah.
that leads
Yeah.
into the other thing I want to talk about, a little bit about healthcare, a little bit about what's going on here in Nevada for healthcare. If the federal government's going to back out of healthcare, how are we going to provide locally for people here in Nevada? There are proposals to continue to tax, to reintroduce more taxes here in Nevada so that we can help pay for that. If the marketplace is to remain open under Obamacare, how are we to do that, and how is that going to affect the people down the street who really can't afford it?
I mean, well, the healthcare industry it already is like stealing from Peter to pay Paul. Like it's just
Absolutely.
like that's all that's going on in general. So realistically, like the insurance companies really should come up with a plan themselves on how they can police the industry, because they're basically at like the mercy of the government anyway. They're being forced to like, hey, here you have to make up these new plans, blah blah blah. I mean, the Affordable Health Care Act really screwed the insurance companies over in general. I had some friends that made a lot of money in that industry, and then they just got killed by all of this. So realistically, like they're already.
You mean the mandate to have insurance, or the mandate that
So the
insurance companies has to cover everybody, especially even people with terminal illnesses?
Yeah, so it's not just that. They were like basically forced to like make up new plans for these people, and then
That's right. That's
and
true.
then they were forced to like make this one fit all plan, and like it had so many restrictions, and that's why the healthcare prices keep going up and up and up.
Now, where do you get your health care? Obviously, you both have health care. Do you have health care? Yes. Do you have health care? Okay, so where do you get it? What plan do you use? How do you see how you're paying if the federal government gets out of the health care reimbursement plan, which is what they're doing? The states have to make it up, right? Especially if Obamacare is still the law, which it looks like it is still the law. The marketplace here in Nevada covers everybody who can't afford their own private plans. So what are you guys doing about your own private plans? Give me an idea as to how that's affecting you.
Well, for me, I mean, again, I've had a lot of pre-existing conditions, so it's very expensive for me to have health care, especially self-employed health care. I was able to get in some time ago, but my rates are still going up too as well because of the previous conditions that I've had from football and other things that's happened. So again, I'm constantly monitoring it, but I'm also shopping different other areas to where it's, when you do have these newer companies that are forging these new plans, they're able to do these certain things for someone like me that has a pre-existing condition that's not in the best of health. So I have to monitor it constantly, monthly, because at any time it can go up on me pretty quickly.
I don't know what plan you have that goes up on you just randomly every single month. Like I understand that you get a new plan year by year, but my healthcare, like it's just like my auto policy. It's gonna stay the same for whatever.
Yeah, that's your auto policy, not your.
No. My healthcare, it works the same way like my auto policy.
But who's
does.
who's your healthcare plan?
Blue Cross.
Yeah. So if I health plan in Nevada, they can do that. For example, so when I went in, there's like, hey, you've hit this amount of limit. So now your plan was this is each month. Your new plan is now going to be this starting February the 1st or whatever.
So your deductible is met and you've gotten your benefits out to a certain extent. At that time, they changed your plan.
It's expensive for me.
Right.
It's very expensive.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so this bleeds all into the main topic, what I want to talk about. Okay, affordable housing. I see that we're running out of time. Anyway, we'll try to get to this in the next show, but I really appreciate everybody jumping in and obviously helping us with terrific advice and commentary on the show. Anyway, I'm Jeff Barton, your voice in the mortgage industry, and also here for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show, and we'll see you next time.